Hey everybody, just want to take 5-10 minutes and show you something really awesome. So if you are at ProLineMockups.com and you go up here to the menu and you click on the online builder, you are going to see our new interactive helmet builder, 3D helmet builder load up. So you've already seen our jersey builder, and that's still cool, and we're going to do more with this, but it's not 3D, it's just a static image. So with the helmet builder, this thing is awesome. So I'm going to show you how to go all the way through and make a design, and all the cool features that come with this. So first of all, if you haven't used 3D before, there are some controls down here. Just that you click and drag, left click and drag, you're going to rotate the model. If you use your scroll wheel, you're going to zoom in and out. Okay. And if you right click, you can sort of pan around. All right, we've got some default views over here. So 2 sides, front, back, top, and what we'll call the hero. And you can totally customize everything. You can create an account up here. It'll allow you to save designs, and you can get different levels of exports without the watermark in super high resolution. There's a few different export options that you'll see. So without further ado, let's look at what's available. So first, we've got presets for all the proteins. So, and they may not be perfect, but they're close. So for example, if you want to start with the base for Minnesota, you just choose them, apply the preset. It's going to apply the colors and finishes that make sense. Show you another couple cool ones. So like Tennessee, it's going to go white, and it's got the new stripe that they have. Or something really cool, I guess, like Seattle. You get there, cool on the stripe built in, and you can kind of go from there. And once you have one of these presets loaded, you can change everything. So I'll start with one that I think we've used before for ProLine. Start with Las Vegas, and let's just start kind of changing things. Let's say we wanted to change the shell color and make it black. And let's say we want the face mask to match. Well, maybe we want the face mask to be this cool little green color down here, our bolt green. You can use the color picker to do that. Or you can go through here and get a few different ways to change your color and clips, including hex. Let's say we want the visor clips to be that same color. Just go right here and get it. And you can, if you want to, you can go down here and turn the visor on and off, and that includes the little clips, and you can see it even affects the shadow down there. And then you can really change everything. So our upper strap clips, we don't make those black. If we want to make our face mask clips also black, we can do that, right? And just rotate this guy. Let's say we want to make our chin guard. Let's make an outer border also black. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now we've got that set. Background, if we want to, we can turn off the shadow catching surface. We can change the opacity of the shadow. We can change the softness of the shadow, right? Or the blur. And we've got a little light. You can see this light kind of rotating around. That's just to come and help you with cool visuals as you're building. You can stop that light and just make it be still wherever you want it. All right, so that's just kind of how the main base works. Now, then you can go into this finish tab, and if you want to, you can change the finish of the shell. So maybe you want a glass helmet, right? Or maybe you want matte, and this is like super matte. Now, this is not transparent. The ProLine is a watermark on there, and that will not show up on your exports if you have the paid export package. So if you just hit the export PNG button, you'll get an export. So on the other screen, but I'll drag it over and show you. You'll get an export without the watermarks. And you can also do other things with the background, make appear. You can change the background color, right? However you want. You just turn the background completely off if you just want to export a completely transparent PNG. There's also some shortcuts up here for changing the colors of your parts. You can change some of the lighting. We've got some HDRI built in here. Let me go back to gloss finish so you can see those better. So you can change those, and then you can dial the intensity up or down, the exposure. There's some soft boxes built in just to help you control the lighting. There's an accent light, so you can change the color of that, and you see that red showing up there. All kinds of stuff you can do. And then I mentioned the export quality. You can control that down here. So there's 4 built-in sizes, and super sampling rates, there's 3. So depending on your system and what they'll tolerate, or just how big you need things, you can export that way. I'll show you some of the other finishes. So there's a satin finish, right? And with the satin finish, you can control the metallic properties or the texture properties, just to give it a little more roughness or make it a little smoother. You can also choose the face mask finish. There's a matte and there's a chrome finish for those. There's a carbon fiber, and if you zoom in, you can see that carbon fiber texture. Zoom in, you can sort of change the size of the weave pattern. We're calling it carbon fiber. It may not be what you think of exactly as carbon fiber, but it kind of looks like a similar texture. Some more lighting options over here. Let's go back one. I actually really like this one. This one kind of gives you the light probe direct, kind of gives you the almost as if you're at a stadium, some of those lights that show up on there. There's a car paint option, and with that you can increase the amount of glitter that shows up, and you can change the size of the glitter. So maybe you want to make it like really small, and you can also change the color. So maybe you want to do red. Maybe you're making a Cardinals alternate black helmet or something like that, right? And you could see when we set, let me show you Chrome. Chrome you can see a little bit better if you change the color to a lighter color, but there's our Chrome. Whoops. My cursor keeps trying to jump to my other monitor. There's our Chrome, right? So you can do a full Chrome. And when we set this default to Las Vegas, we got the single stripe. So if we go into helmet stripes, if we want to, we can change that, right? We can make it wider, we can choose with color. We can change the length. So if you shorten it, it kind of comes up the back onto the helmet like so. And we've got some presets in here. There's a 3-stripe where they're all equal width, and the default isn't quite that wide. It's kind of more like that, I think. We've got a 3-stripe where the center is a bit thicker. And we've even got a 5-stripe with some piping. And even changed all the colors of the different parts of the stripes. Or if you want to, you can upload a custom stripe. So maybe you want to put the Denver stripe. Right? And it's gonna default to sort of filling the whole area. You can change the width and the length, and it'll kind of shorten it up. And we have that one as a default view, but this is like, if you want to do like a custom stripe pattern that expands the whole length of the helmet, this is the best way to do that. It could be another option here. We can remove that one, and we'll just say add. Let's just say we have like Detroit stripes 9. The nose will come in, and you can see, and I have turned the length down, but you can tell the whole helmet will stay behind the bumpers, right? And then you can also change the finish on the decals. So you can go to a satin finish, pure matte, or even chrome. on the decals, right? And then you can do what I think is the coolest part, the main side logos. So you can turn on independent logos, meaning logos on either side can be different. If you do that, you'll get 2 separate uploads. We'll just stick with one for now. And we'll just put our ProLine P logo on here. So when the logo pops on, you can click on it and you can drag it to position it. You can scale it with a bounding box. You can rotate it, ton of whatever you want to do. And then I like to lock it in place. That way, when you click to rotate the helmet, you don't accidentally click the logo and jack it, and then you can always unlock it and move it again. And this defaults to having the logo on both sides mirrored, right? But maybe that doesn't make sense for your logo. This is a backwards P now. So if we turn off the mirror, it's just gonna flip the logo. So face it the other way, the other one will stay the same, okay? And then another cool thing, and I'm gonna change our helmet finish to maybe just a regular gloss for this. And we'll go to a darker color just so you can really see what we're looking at here. If you zoom in and you go back to your details, there is a little spot down here for logo stroke or outline. All right, and you see that popped up there. Defaults to that thickness and opacity. And so this is to help if you want to create sort of that clear outline effect that you see on a lot of logos on helmets. So you can change the color of the outline if you want. And you can also choose the opacity if you want to make it a solid. But I like to kind of do that clear mimic situation and leave that on there. And man, I'm going to just minimize this for a little more room. We have focal logos, or sorry, must not do bumper logos, real rear decals. So if we go up here and we go to our back view, we have some rear decals that you can turn on that you commonly see on football helmets, right? You got the warning label, you got the American flag. You can scale those, rotate them, move them. You can change the color of the label to kind of whenever you want to do something. You want the label to be your blue color. You can do that there. Okay. And then you can also upload custom rear decals. Again, we'll just grab our little ProLine and it'll pop up there and you could move it around. Depending on where you put it and the finishes you have, reflections and stuff can make things a little bit weird. But you can control size. It won't get too big because it's meant to just be on the back. And then you can also use this slider to kind of move things up and down, left and right. Okay, so you can put that wherever you want to, or just remove it or even replace it. Before we do bumper logos, I'm sure we also have a full wrap. So just sort of like a side view. If you wanted to put a wrap pattern on your helmet, let's grab one of the images here. You can see this isn't a good one to use because it's not like it's a weird shape, but you can use this sort of previewer here and wrap this guy around your helmet. It sort of emanates from a central point on the top. So it's kind of cool if you want to put like a certain pattern on your helmet. There's all different types of rotational controls and opacity, things you can do here to really kind of dial it in however you want it. We'll turn that off for now. Just want to show you that option. And then your bumper logo. So go to our front view. I must just say you want to add a logo to the front. We'll grab our ProLine logo. And you can see it pops up there on from bumper. Depending on what logo you're using, you may need to just make some scale adjustments. All right, I'm gonna scale that and maybe I want to move it up a little bit. And then if you zoom in, kind of drag around, you can see, right? Just move that up even more if you want to. Just kind of whatever you want to do there. And then if you go to the back, do the same thing with the rear bumper. whatever logo you may want to use. And it'll pop up, and you just need to potentially make adjustments again, depending on the scale of the logo that you have or kind of what you're using. Maybe you want to scale it down a little bit. And there you go. Put your logo in place. So now your helmet's all done. You've already set your lighting and background however you want. Adjust that a little bit, kind of whatever you want to do. Now you can just start exporting your images. Now, if you position the helmet, however you position it, once it stops, even if it's still slightly moving, if you hit that export button, boom, that's the image you're going to get. So you can position it however you want, or you can use some of the presets, export that, export that, export that, export that, export that, and even export a hero, which is, hero's probably a good one because it shows you a stripes, it shows you a side logo pretty well, shows you the front bumper, right? So there's a lot of options there. So that's it. That's our builder. If you have a design that you've worked on and you want to be able to come back to, you can save it, give it a name, test, save it. It'll go through a sequence of just kind of uploading some of the artwork that you put in there, and they'll tell you that it saved it up here. And then if you go to just clear it, probably longer than 10 minutes, sorry guys. We'll just apply a preset again, and now kind of get rid of all those the decals and stuff we placed are going to stay there. You can go remove those if you want to. And actually, I'll show you if you remove those. And now we go back to my designs, and we've got our test. Let's say we rename it if we want to. Bring that back up. Let's load it. And now it's loaded in, right? Brings back our decals and everything. It saved our design for us. There's a little tips button up here, kind of give you some tips and tricks to go along the way. You can manage your account up here. So you can add an email address, you can manage a plan. If you want to update, to a higher level subscription. There's a few different options you can do in terms of amounts to spend for credits or monthly credits, or if you do $49, that's full lifetime access, unlimited watermark-free exports, and any additional builders we create in the future. So other helmets, jerseys, hacks, whatever it is that we add to this online builder tool, you'll have access to those too. So hopefully you guys think that's awesome. If you're paying for other software to do stuff like this, maybe reconsider. And if you need anything like this built for your product, your business, feel free to reach out. We've up to build custom templates and builders like this for others.